Well, my Bucks in 6 pick is not looking good. Giannis looked good. He looked great. He was amazing in this game, if I could just keep adding words to it. Over 40 points, and that third quarter was insane. I mean, he had like 1 3, 1 mid-range, I believe. He had a turnaround jumper. That might have been in the fourth. He had that one where he got a screen from somebody and like had a bit of an angle going at Bridges and Ayton. There was the one where he was switched on to Mikal Bridges and he just kind of powered him out of the way. Giannis did everything he could do in this one. The problem was Middleton and Drew, his two guys, they just weren't good enough. I mean, Drew ended up getting to an okay point total, but so many misses. I mean, Drew, how many layups did Drew miss in this game? I don't know. Pull-up jumpers as well. That was real bad. Middleton, this is the thing with Middleton. One game he looks like Michael Jordan. The next game he's Jared Dudley or something. And I think it just always comes back to the Bucks offense always having a tough time just generating easy looks or getting open shots at the rim. I mean, they did in the first couple of minutes. They were like relentless getting to the rim. But then eventually Giannis was the only guy. I mean, whether it's the Suns switching, rotating, basic basketball things, I know. They just do such a damn good job. And a lot of it is, again, they're just packing the paint. I mean, I remember there was one possession in particular where it was just like really obvious what was going on. It was it was late second quarter. Giannis was standing at the three-point line. He didn't have the ball. Middleton was driving, and he just ran into this wall because DeAndre Ayton was ignoring Giannis at the top of the key. And now I am not for 1 second blaming Giannis for anything in this game, but it was just kind of a moment of like, oh yeah, this is just how the Bucks offense is sometimes. I mean, if Pat Connaughton doesn't go nuts with 4 threes or whatever, this would have been really bad. And when you think about getting Drew and Middleton going, the most obvious way is just screens, right? On and off the ball. And whether that's with Lopez or Giannis, Bobby Portis for the 5 minutes a game he might play. Again, when I mentioned that Lopez-Giannis Portis lineup after game 1, I don't know why I said that. That was a dumb call on my part. But yeah, if Middleton and Drew just can't put the ball in the basket efficiently enough, then we're not going to be playing too many more games in this series. For Phoenix's sake, the Bucks pick and roll defense, they went back to dropping, and Drew, he did a lot of things defensively tonight. CP still had some plays where he scored on him, but it seemed like overall Drew brought it defensively, picking him up full court, fighting around screens and all that. To me, the most impressive thing with the Suns' offense was their relocations for threes. Should be said first, the Bucks, they clearly were like, we're going to pack the paint on you, at least in the first quarter, and we saw what happened. I mean, Jay Crowder, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, corner threes, elbow threes, the whole thing. I mean, there was that one where they trapped Cam Payne, and he immediately knew where to get it to Cam Johnson for an open three. But, there was one play where Ayton, he went baseline when the play was dead, and Crowder relocated to the corner. That was a three. Just two guys on opposite sides of the court being completely on the same page. There was at least one other one where I believe it was Mikal Bridges relocating off of Booker, just kind of operating at the end of a shot clock. And there were a couple others. Mikal Bridges also had at least like 2 or 3 really good plays off the dribble. He had like 2 pull-up mid-rangers that were big, and he also had a couple of wide-open threes that the Bucks were very lucky to not drop. And it makes me think for a moment, like, what's Mikal Bridges going to get on the open market? Because I think there's another level to get to with him as a scorer. Like, yeah, they're not going to run offense through him like that, but it's like, oh, he's not just a 3-and-D guy. He's making plays off the dribble for him. And the other thing was Chris Paul not Chris Paul. Well, yes, CP, but I was going to say Booker made a bunch of tough threes. I mean, he had like 2 in the first quarter, I think, with Middleton on him both times. He had that one with Middleton on him in the corner, like third quarter or fourth quarter, where it came right after Middleton took a really bad 3 in transition, which was really frustrating, and I guess was another sort of symbolic thing with the Bucks offense where there's just moments where it looks so dumb, and it's like the lack of passing, the lack of off-ball movement, and it's like, well, I guess this is just how it's going to go. And I know there's been a little bit of conversation about who should start. Should Connaughton start over PJ Tucker or whatever? Here's the thing, man. The Bucks just don't have that many guys. I mean, the DiVincenzo injury, if nothing else, just takes away one reliable guy. And it forces you to put somebody out there who's like Bryn Forbes, defensive liability. Jeff Teague, same thing. Now, if Pat Connaughton's going to keep going nuts from three, then okay. So the big hope for the Bucks is, of course, Middleton and Drew, and whether they're comfortable with the shots those two got or not, trying to get them going downhill more from screens or the handoff action or some sort of cut action or whatever. We'll see. They got one more chance, or it's going to be 3-0. So, yeah.